the US economy is doing so great that you need to have two jobs to stay afloat. And not even that can actually help you stay afloat because credit card debt is on the rise. So now I was looking at it like, okay, if we are, as Americans, are needing more and more jobs. So, and how did I come to that conclusion? Well, people in my comment been screaming about it that they have two jobs, three jobs. So I did a poll, and as time of this editing, this is how the poll looks. And I was like, oh man, there's a lot of people needing two jobs. For somebody that's born and raised in Europe, having two jobs is absolutely crazy. Having two jobs, two full-time jobs or something? No, you don't do that, especially not for Switzerland. At least when I lived there. So now I'm seeing all these people in the comments saying I have two jobs. I see it in my poll that I did. People have two jobs. And then I came to Googling it. I was like, are there some statistics out there? So I looked at the 2023 news articles, and I found this one right here. And this one said that it was 8.4 million people have two jobs. And I was like, oh man, that was in 2023. So COVID was over. They were hiring like crazy. Why do people need two jobs? How much did that increase from 2023 to 2024? So I looked again, and these are the numbers. So 300 plus thousand people picked up another job. And so then I was like, so that must mean that credit card debt is low, or, personal saving is up. Nope. Credit card debt is at the highest it's ever been. And so is everything else. So that only brings me to conclusion that all these jobs that are around are not paying anything or aren't worth you either considering. Because making $15 an hour nowadays isn't even going to cut your living, pay for your living expenses, depending where you live. So now let's look at what it even takes for you to get to work, right? Because people say, oh, you can work and you can find a job. Yeah, you can. Everybody can now find a job. But the key is getting one that pays. Because if you're going to work for $12, $13 an hour, depending on where you live and how far you need to travel to that, you might just work an hour and a half to 2 hours just to cover commuting costs, because you got to budget in, right? Your car, your wear and tear, registration, insurance, breakdowns and all that other stuff. So if you're living in an expensive place, you're pretty much screwed if you cannot get a fully high paying job. So you need a very, very high paying job to just stay afloat nowadays. And now you're like, well, how do I get that? Well, these are far and few in between. There's not many high paying jobs right now on LinkedIn. I looked in my area, and I know I live in Las Vegas, so it's kind of hard to find tech job, but all the jobs around are associate jobs that do associate warehouse staffing, associate car park lot attendant, associate CarMax lot manager, or lot assistant, or inventory inventory person at CarMax, and they're all paying like garbage. And so you as worker cannot take that job. You lose money on the whole deal. And one thing that you do not want to do is, while getting a job, is actually lose money on it. And I feel like corporations just haven't gotten it, making bigger and bigger profit. And you're actually in here trying to make a living and try to pay your bills, and the costs keep going up, and the good employment options are just going and leaving. And so now you gotta gain more skills, but that also costs money. Go to college. That's not a good idea. We saw that last time. Only if they give you all these student loans back, right? And you can go for free, but then you still have a time commitment. So then the other day, yesterday was the debate, right? The presidential debate. And I thought, let's watch it. Maybe they have some cool stuff they're going to say about the economy, that they're going to make new jobs, that they're going to create new jobs, that they're going to stop, companies moving out of the United States, stuff that you want to hear in a debate. But no, absolutely nothing. The only thing that I've really understood from the debate is what kind of handicap and how those two can play golf together and who would beat who. That's kind of it. Didn't get any more out of it. Didn't really have great conversations or a debate at all. It was just you did this, and then the kindergarten play. So that was a disaster. So we didn't get any information from that. And now I feel like that's exactly how the job market is, a disaster. You have absolutely no opportunities to increase your pay. And if you do, let me know in the comments below, because I see some people say that, they're working for unions and they're still hiring. Be interesting to see where and when and what they're paying, because my thing is just I just can't grasp getting paid, but working so much that it's not worth it, right? So when you get paid, there needs to be a leftover, there needs to be a profit. You need to be better off working than not working. And now I feel like you're better off not working and kind of scam the system than it is you actually doing the work and actually finding a job, because none of these jobs online pay. So, and then, in my other video, I said entrepreneurship's dead because everybody nowadays is an entrepreneur, but that's also not really what you can do. So you need to find something to supplement your income and have almost a third job and try to sell jewelry for a profit or something else, or start your own lawn management company where you go, trim lawns and make a few extra dollars. And I think once you do that, you'll start to notice that it's kind of easier to make $100 trimming somebody's tree for 2 hours than it is for you to actually work for $12 an hour for 10 hours at a CarMax dealership, right? So yeah, you're not going to get the benefits, but all that, one time versus, 2 hours versus, a full day and a half working at CarMax, almost the same money. I don't know. You let me know what you think, but I don't think that I would do that. I would find alternatives to keep it rolling, because it's just not great. And people are saying, oh, the economy in other places isn't in shambles. But then I see China has huge unemployment, Germany has problems, all these other countries in Europe are starting to have problems because interest rates are so high. And we've never spent, I think this is the first physical year that we're spending more on interest than on our military budget, on just interest on the federal government. So it's just crazy how spending got out of control. And 2 jobs, increased credit card debt, and no end in sight. There needs to be, I feel like for Americans, there just needs to be a deadline. People want to be like, okay, at the end of November, things going to get better. We're going to have a new president. Stuff's going to get better. We're going to come out of a recession and we're going to keep on rolling. But it's not looking like it. There's no sign or indicator that there's anything stopping this layoff movement, that companies are going to change their ways. Because why would they? It's been working for the last 2 years. It's been working just fine. And now all of a sudden, we try to come up with new ideas. So hey, let's not move these factories to Mexico. Let's not do that. But hey, we haven't heard anything saying that they should keep the jobs in the United States. So what else is there besides being unemployed and working a two low wage jobs at the same time, trying to make ends meet? And I saw that there was a 6-figure job posted on I think it was Burger King, regional manager or something. It got 1,000 applications. It was $90,000 with benefits, and it got 1,000 applications in 24 hours. So these high-paying jobs, that offer benefits or have so much competition that you with a normal resume won't even compete. You need to know people and network to even get in. And the only comment I truly I was like, yes, was the guy who said you're not going to get a job in this day and age without an internal referral. Unless you have an internal referral, you're not going to get anything done. And I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense because it is so bad out there. And these tech companies are laying off more and more people. And it's going to be interesting because unless these companies come up with new, innovative ideas, they're not going to need new people. Unless you come up with a new Oculus, a new Meta Ray-Ban, a new something innovative that's going to require innovation and people to innovate, test out, and do things. But unless that, there's there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. And another key problem is that all these Americans that are looking at different types of jobs are going to compete with you because most Americans, I'll give you that. There was also in my comments, are willing to move for the right job. So then they move from the Bay Area, they'll move to the Bay Area, they move around. So before, in a good job economy, you kind of only competed in your city, right? So, or in your little district, because why would you leave if the job market's great enough? But now people compete on a US market, right? So if there's a good job in Montana and you're from New York and they're paying you enough money, you should probably take it. And somebody asked Allie the other day if they would, their boss is making them unauthorized, is holding them longer, hourly employee because he needs to do work after hours that is not getting paid. And he's in a smaller town, and that's the only company there, and they don't know what to do. And my opinion was like, okay, you can't tell them no. You need to document everything. And if you have your resume polished and you're gonna find a new spot or a new place, you see if you and the lawyer can sue him for millions of dollars. Because right now, if you'll say, I need those hours paid, I'm not working, doing all that kind of stuff, then you're gonna be not having food. And unemployment in the US sucks. They'll give it to you for like 27 weeks and then you're done. And right now, it needs a long time for you to find a job. And unless you have like an internal referral or good connections and been networking, like most of you have not been on LinkedIn networking, because if you would have actually requested me to connect on LinkedIn. And so I know that you're there. But yeah, if you're not finding opportunities like that and start networking and just putting yourself out there, it's hard. It's hard. All these few jobs that are high paying are hella competitive. And even more than 2 years ago. 2 years it was decent competitive, but now it's just brutal. So you gotta be on top of your game. So yeah, it is not looking good. And the next 4 years, I also believe it's not going to be that great the next few years. Even after the election, it takes time for all that to come around, to change the economy, to give it some steam, to lower the interest rate, to just do better and be better and have more opportunities. Because you just can't. We can't keep going like this. 3 jobs. What's the burnout? What's the rate of these people that have 2 jobs and they're going to get burnt out? And for a CEO, it's really easy to say, let's just cut jobs. But these people that then can't provide for their families, those are going to be suicidal. They have suicide thoughts if you can't provide for your family and have trauma experience and have issues because they can't feed their family. They don't know what to do anymore. And they do things that are in their control. And so we really got to stop the jobs moving abroad and start hiring Americans again and giving people jobs that actually pay, not some minimum wage jobs. Let me know what you think about all this. Am I wrong? Am I right? Yeah. So they had a walking partner. Say hi to everybody.
Hi to everybody.
So who else was here?
Come here,
Look at that baby. Look at her. Look at her. Today was a walk. She didn't want to be on camera today because she could have had, because the microphone was here, but not today. And I'll see you in the next one.